Yeah. You know, I thought the offensive line, Justice Hill did a great job there to ice the game. Kind of that 4-minute drill where you're trying to run the clock out and kind of eliminate their timeouts. And Justice did an unbelievable job of kind of, you know, making sure he was patient and finding the hole and, you know, making them kind of lose all their timeouts. So that was big. But, you know, James has made a lot of plays today, made a lot of plays the last 4 years. So I've you know, been blessed to have such an athlete, such a playmaker to throw the ball to, and you know, along with a lot of other guys like Marcel and Dylan Stoner, Jalen McCleskey, so Chris Lacey, man, it's truly fun to go to practice, work with these guys, and spread the ball around, and great to go out with a victory.
Thanks.
Yeah. Do what?
Oh.
Yes, sir, Gavin. 2 or 3 inches.
How's that? All right. We don't want to put it in front of James after the job he did tonight. What's your reaction to a well-executed game plan just coming to fruition tonight and leaving here a winner?
Just blessed for the opportunity. You know, I give a big shout out to the O-line. You know, they don't get a lot of credit for the stuff they do, but you know, they do a good job, and I'm glad to have you know, been a part of this team over the past 4 years, and you know, just blessed to be just an Oklahoma State Cowboy. And you know, I lost a cousin here recently named Rich Johnson, and you know, I want to give a big shout out to him, because without him, I wouldn't have been at this point and been successful.
Very sorry for your loss.
Yes, sir.
Can you take us inside the locker room and tell us what Coach had to say and what you can tell us?
Yeah, Coach we were still taking pictures on the field for a while, so he hadn't really addressed the team. I think we're going to do that after we're done here. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to, you know, I talked to him briefly, you know, one-on-one, and just thanked him for the opportunity to come here and play in this system, playing in such an explosive offense with guys like James, and be able to spread the ball around and just be a part of a team and a community in Stillwater it's been home for me and James for 4 years, and just a fun college experience.
What a way to end the career.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun, yeah.
Let's open it up for questions. Okay, we have mic holders, so if you'll keep your hands up, and we'll keep moving right over here, second row on the right.
All right, Mason, walk me through both of your touchdown passes tonight. The first one, obviously a high degree of difficulty throwing on the run there, and then the second one's kind of one that probably between practice and games you've hit 100 times to James.
I really wish I would hit him on that scramble drill to the left, kind of coming across the field. He was kind of, I didn't lead him up the field as much. That would have been a highlight throw and catch. But yeah, I mean, first one, Stoner did a great job of extending the play, keeping the play alive, and you know, kind of getting into my vision, working to that front pylon, and made a great catch. And then obviously, you touched on it, throwing posts. It's pretty easy when you got a guy who's a gazelle out there and just literally he eats up all the space between the corner, he breaks him off, the guy turns his back, and it's over. So I've seen that a few times throughout my career, and it's always a good sight.
Okay, first row, then Allen, and then to George Diaz, right here.
James, a couple questions for you. After you hit the touchdown, break the career record for yards, I saw you and Coach Dunn have a moment. What did he say to you? Can you give us a little insight on that? What's he meant to you? And then I noticed you and Stoner had a little secret signal there at the end that kind of almost felt symbolic, passing a torch on to a younger guy a little bit.
You know, he just told me just thanks for the ride. You know, Coach Dunn's helped me a lot over these past 4 years. You know, coming out of high school, I felt like I was still raw, but I needed the guidance to become a college football receiver. And, you know, without him, this wouldn't be possible to this day. And, you know, me and Stoner, we're really close. He comes over to the house sometimes, and me and him we have a lot of things that we do, like our handshake celebration. We do weird stuff. And, you know, at the end, I don't know if you guys saw, but he did a backflip that was pretty talented and in full pad. So shout out to him.
We're over here.
Guys, in a game that seemed to have so many turning points, can you pick just one to put your finger on and say, this was the turning point where, you know what, we think this is maybe where we got this thing wrapped up?
Yeah, I think going into half, scoring that touchdown, I think it was to I think Justice ran it in. I think I didn't throw one until the second half. So going into halftime scoring and then getting a stop was big, and kind of carried some momentum into halftime. Came back out, made some adjustments, executed, and I wish I could have hit old boy over here on the second post, but Stoner, right there before halftime, I'd say that was a turning point for me.
George.
Yeah, Mason, can you, alluding a little bit to that, can you talk, was there a little bit of a frustration factor in the first half, given the inability to punch it in, a couple field goals in the touchdown?
I think we sputtered a little bit, and that's on all of us. I didn't make a couple throws, and we didn't execute in the run game a couple times. So, but it was all of our fault. We made some adjustments, came back, and turned it around. But that's what we do. I think we've been a second half team all season and been able to make adjustments and come back out and be explosive.
For you, Mr. Washington, you opened the half without any yards, and then you went for 91 in the third quarter alone. What did you see? What changed right then?
Well, the first half, they were running a bunch of invert, and we went into halftime, made a few adjustments, came back out, and, Mike Yersich, he's a great coach, and, his schemes and his adjustments at halftime are top of the line, and we came out, executed, and just things were falling in place. Mason was putting the ball where it needed to be, and receivers were where they needed to be. So,
basically, we moved him inside. He was outside on the right side, and had a backer underneath him trying to take away the out, trying to take away the five-step slant, and then you had a corner deep over the top. So we moved him to the slot. We did a lot of things with him. We could move him around. That's why he's such a versatile receiver, and he made him pay. So
All the way in the back, on the right.
Mason, you guys are the first group in school history to have back-to-back 10-win seasons. What does that mean to you to go out like that?
Yeah, it's cool. I think, me and James and these seniors had, higher aspirations, obviously, with our goals coming in the season. But, you got to remotivate. And, we had a couple bumps throughout the season. But, the leadership was incredible. And the way the guys, flipped the switch, coming back from a Saturday on a Sunday at practice and making sure the team was headed in the right direction and kind of guiding those guys. It's cool. I think it speaks a lot about the senior class, about the leadership on both sides of the ball. So it's a great achievement for us.
In the front.
Mason, it sounded like you weren't aware that James broke Rashawn Wood's record, career receiving record.
I wasn't watching ESPN like James, so I didn't get that.
I mean, just talk about your time here with him, and obviously he's a very quiet, humble kid, and to see him setting that record, I'm sure you got to be pretty happy for him.
Yeah, well, I think the first time I saw him, he tells the story. It was a TCU game 2013. It was we were visiting, and it was just this country dude, weird, kind of quiet, a little bit awkward country dude with his boots and his jeans, and he was just like, I came out to get something at the concession stand, and he was right there. And I was like, James, what's up? We're gonna be playing together. So that's the first time I met him, and he's still quiet now, but the leader that he's become over 4 years, and how much more vocal he is now, and the way the guys listen to him and watch him in practice. He's a practice player, and it's very, very seldom you get a player of his ability to actually come to practice every single day and approach it like it's a game rep, and kind of set the culture for the younger guys that come in and say, hey, this is a Blitnikoff receiver, and he's not taking too many plays off in practice, so we gotta get it. It's a tribute to Coach Dunn too.
Just a couple of more questions, then we're going to go encourage these guys to celebrate. Front row.
Congratulations, guys. What is some of the best advice that Coach Gundy has given you to help prepare you for the next phase of your career, like regarding the NFL draft?
First, if you want.
Just a Cowboy culture. We always talk about 4 things: focus, effort, toughness, and leadership. If it's one thing that I have learned from here, it's that you're not always gonna have good days, but out of those bad days, you have to make something good happen, no matter what it is. Life throws a bunch of curveballs at us, but just hanging there and knock it out the park.
I think both of us have our best ball ahead of us, and looking forward to attacking the next chapter of our career, just like we did this past 4 years. So I'm excited about the future. It'll be fun to go through the process with him and Marcel and a number of other guys on both sides of the ball, and stay in contact and kind of keep that brotherhood where it is, and start playing on Sundays. It'll be fun.
Third row, right corner.
Mason, after seeing Justice develop these last few years, what do you think his future entails with this program?
Sky's the limit for him, man. I think he'll be the guy coming back to kind of build the team around. Obviously, still got a lot of great receivers in Tylan Wallace, Dylan Stoner, Tyron Johnson, a lot of guys that can play, and obviously, got to find the quarterback situation out. But Justice is going to be a great component, and if he keeps improving like he has year to year, setting goals in the weight room with Coach Glass and developing, physically, he's going to have a great career, and then a career after that on Sundays as well.
All right, we're not going to touch the theory about winners wanting to talk all night. We're going to go to the riser and then the second row and wrap it up. So thank you.
For you guys to have one last touchdown connection, what does that mean for you guys?
It's huge, It's kind of the, I guess, the showcase ability that me and Mason have brought to this university. I wouldn't ask for another quarterback. When I look up for the ball, he's on time. And, without a quarterback as good as him, a lot of that wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, it was cool. Kind of the cherry on top. You definitely wanted to connect with him and feed him the ball early. And I think somebody said he didn't have any catches or yards in the first half, one catch. So just gotta, when teams are double covering him, that's what you gotta find ways to get him the ball. Like I said, we moved him around, got some different looks, and we're able to get the ball to him. But definitely way to go out, fun way to go out.
Mason, kind of one of the first things that it seemed like you did post-game was find each one of the offensive coaches and kind of give them a hug. What did you have to say to them, and why was it important to do that right away? Yeah, well, I think first was Yursich, and just seeing the guy that recruited me, 4.5 years ago, and just thanking him for everything, all the hard work, all the hours he spent at the stadium with the rest of the offensive staff, game planning and putting up with Coach Gundy and I's additions midweek. We'll come in there on a Wednesday morning and say, hey, we want to put this in, and he'll be, he's all mad because he's already got a plan, but it usually ends up working out. And but no, he's unbelievable schematically. He's going to be a head coach one day, I have no doubt. And but yeah, rest of the offensive coaches, Coach McKindu, Coach Henson, Coach Dunn, Coach Waz, all those guys have been there the whole way. With Waz only a couple years, but it's been a fun group to play with.
Thanks very much. We're going to send you guys to go celebrate with your team. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And as you can see, we've been joined by the head coach. Mike, some opening comments?
Well, first off, I'm very proud of the organization, the players, coaching staff, everybody involved with the effort that they put in this year. Was especially happy for the seniors, like we talked about in the press conference yesterday, that these guys have been tremendous for Oklahoma State football university. They're very humble. They won a lot of football games. They've been tremendous in the classroom, and that's what we look for. And so it was a good game for us. Virginia Tech's a good football team, as we mentioned. I was shocked that we could average 8 yards a snap. I was concerned. I was hoping that we could average 5.5. But we hit some plays on them there in the end. But they had really good game plans. They're a well-coached team and very respectful, have a lot of respect for Justin and his staff in dealing with their players this week and how they handle themselves. So it's a really good win for our organization. Defensively, we gave up a lot of rushing yards, but we were able to make some stops and force some turnovers. And for Oklahoma State, really in the end, that's what it comes down to. We're explosive on offense. We need to average over 7 yards a snap, and we have to force turnovers. So it's a great way to finish the season, a great way for these seniors to go out. And now we get started on next year. We enjoy the win tonight, and we got to get started on next year. But I do want to thank Florida Citrus Sports, Camping World, tremendous bowl. Everything's been first class. The people, from top to bottom. And when we go to these bowl games, the accommodations are important because we have a lot of players, but then you also have wives and kids. And we all know that we want them to have fun. That means coaches get to have fun. And the food, our bus trip, our escort with the police every day looked like we were the only bus on the highway. And that makes a difference. And I know I'm getting into a little bit of detail, but first-class operation, terrific bowl, something to do every day. And we're very proud of the way it finished, and we're very proud to be a part of this bowl.
Saw a couple of young Gundys come in with you. Did it take a lot of arm twisting to get them to come to Central Florida and Universal?
No, it's easy to get them here. This bowl, this morning they were disappointed that they only had one more night. But they had a great time. Of course, being in that Hyatt, they had enough space in that hotel to play basketball games, literally full court basketball, and hide and seek till 1 in the morning. So it was pretty awesome for them.
One more question before we open it up. Your opposing coach, your good friend on the other end of the field, said it really came down to mistake-free football. You guys had it clicking on all cylinders.
They got us on a fake punt, and as I said, they did move the ball, but we were able to get some stops and force turnovers. And I can't give them enough credit. Really good game plans. As a coach, you're always concerned when you have a month. Teams can really scheme and do a great job, obviously. You get concerned about things like that, but our guys found a way to make adjustments. Defensively, made really good adjustments in the second half. We had chances to put the game away and didn't accomplish it, but when you're playing a really quality team, sometimes that's going to happen.
All right, let's open it up for questions. Please raise your hands. We have the front row.
Hey, Mike. Tonight it felt like it was sort of a tribute to what's been and a look at maybe what's to come with James and Mason doing what they do, Marcel getting in on the act, then you had Stoner, and obviously Justice. Do you feel like this was a little bit of shades of the past and the future?
I think so. When you get ready to play in a bowl, when you have a special group like we do, you want Aitman and Washington to get their catches from Mason, because that's what's happened for 4 years. And then you want guys on defense, the Chad Whiteners and the Trey Flowers and Darius Curry. You know, we lost both corners. We were deficient at corner. When we started the season, we became more deficient in the middle of the season, and at the end of the season, we ended up putting 7 and 2 in this game, and they hadn't practiced corner hardly at all in live situations. And so hopefully you pass that on to the young guys, like you're saying, with Stoner and Hill. We've got a lot of work ahead of us when we get back with winter conditioning and getting ready for next year, but we've done it before. We won't have any issues in doing it again.
Right here.
Mike, James Washington becomes the all-time leading receiver in school history. You've been around all the greats as a player and a coach. Can you just kind of put that in perspective for us?
You know, James' success kind of speaks for itself. And I've said this, but obviously the local media has heard me say this for years, but such a humble young man. Everything he earns, you're just so happy for him. He's all team-oriented. He's going to play in the NFL for a long time. These guys that are moving on, the 5 or 6 guys that we have that are draft eligible, they're a home run for the NFL because they do everything right all the time. They're unselfish. They work hard. They keep their mouth shut. Not a lot of guys out there like that. So I will be honest. I'm sad that we're not going to see him running down the middle of the field wide open anymore, because it's just part of who we've become over the last 3 years. And we have to move on, but we all know that when we've watched him play, that's been a special time over the last 3 seasons for our team.
Coach, usually the story for your squad is offense, and even actually yesterday it was Virginia Tech's defense that you were giving accolades to, but I want to give you an opportunity to give your defense their credit being so crucial to this game.
We made a lot of key stops. You know, I'm sure if you talk to our defensive coaches, we'd have liked to defend the run a little better in the meat part of the game, but we were able to force turnovers and make key stops. We made good adjustments at halftime and got stops early in the game, early in the third quarter. We had a chance on offense to put it away. We missed a couple throws, and then we had a drop on a 4th and short that we had a great call, and we probably score. And so defense made key stops. And then offensively, we didn't put the game away, and then defense was able to make a stop in the end.
In the back.
Coach, you get 10 wins in 3 straight seasons for the first time ever. What goes into that, and what's it say about your program?
There are a lot of people that work hard year-round for that. all wins are difficult. Extremely difficult to get in double-digit wins. If not, just go back over the last 5 years and look at traditional top 20 teams in the country that have not been able to accomplish that. So there's a lot of credit to go around in the success that this group of young men and what they've accomplished. And we as a staff are very proud of them. We talk about being resilient. We talk about finding a way to accomplish and build on success. And we talk about being problem solvers. And if there's issues, find a solution and fix it, and that's what these guys have done. So we're very proud. And obviously, I'm very proud to be associated and be lucky enough to be the head coach at Oklahoma State, even after all these years. So it's a terrific accomplishment for our organization.